Welcome to the Upholstery Studio. Every week, we're going to show you useful and interesting projects that are fun and easy to make and look beautiful when they're finished. You don't need to be a professional upholsterer or have a bunch of expensive tools to do our projects either. If you have a stapler, a drill, scissors, glue, and a saw, you have the basics necessary to do almost any of our projects. All it takes is a few fun hours and the desire to make something beautiful with your own hands. At the end of the show, we'll tell you where you can get plans or kits for today's project. The glue in our frame is dry and we're ready to add the foam. Now we've cut a piece of foam that is 1/4 of an inch less on the top and on the bottom, and we're going to make sure that it's long enough while we center it. Just wrap it to the back and make sure that you can reach the back on both sides. And you can trim the extra from that later, but what we're going to do now is we're going to glue this down. If you don't glue it down, it might buckle. Use your spray foam, and you're going to spray a little on the foam and a little on the frame. Now, once your face is glued in place, we're going to turn it over, and we're going to pull it up on the sides. Now, we've got a little extra. We're going to take our pen, and we'll just mark where the top is, and we'll just cut it a little short of what that line is. Just like this. And we'll glue again. And then wrap it, center it again. Bonded polyester is much larger than the frame, and that is so that we can take and pull it across and make a shape with our foam and soften the edges of the foam. The first thing we're going to do, we're going to look underneath and we're going to find that 1/4 inch so that we can staple our bonded to that 1/4 inch that we left. Okay, and we're going to pull it across, and the reason we're going to do that is so that we don't have any buckles. Now, once we've stapled the 2 center points, we're going to turn the cornice over again, and the reason for that is we're going to pull to create our shape this way. And what we're going to do is we're going to staple once at each side. Now what we can do, flip it back over, and we're just going to follow the line of the cornice all the way along and continue to pull a little bit and staple. And staple the whole piece of Dacron in place. Once we're done stapling it in place, we'll take our scissors and trim away the extra. With our bonded polyester stapled in place and trimmed, we are now ready for fabric.
For our basic cornice, we're using this solid yellow fabric. Now we've ironed it ahead of time, and here's the trick why, is if you don't iron it ahead of time and you put it on, and your iron happens to leave a mark on the fabric, you've got to take it all off. So iron it first, and then we start putting it on. Now the way I started is I folded the fabric in half, and then I took my scissors and clipped the corner on the top. I've done the same on the bottom, and then clipped the corner. Once the fabric is laid out like that, I've taken my cornice board, come to the center, put my mark, the center of the bottom, put my mark. Now we're ready to put the fabric on. What we'll do is start in the center, try to take your marks on your fabric and your cornice, and go back and forth till the fabric's even and has about the right shape you want. Okay? Hold that down. Now, we're going to put a staple right in the center. Now, if you notice, we're stapling to the center of the edge of the board. We're not stapling to the face anymore. Okay? Be real nice and careful. Take your time. Get all the wrinkles out. Get it nice and smooth. This is what's going to create the face of your cornice board. Okay, now we've stapled to the corner. Remember that basting staple that I told you we put in the back? Now it's time to pull it out. Pleat it, bend it over, and it finishes the corner right off. One staple. Done. For this cornice board, we're going to use a welt, a decorative welt along the edge. Some cornices you'd use a braid. Put it in place, and put a staple right at the end. Just like that. Okay, we have just finished off the edge, our welt. What I want to do now is we're going to put the fabric for the inside that will cover the inside like thus. All right, now this will show you how the tack strip fits along tucked up next to the welt. Okay? We take this face fabric. You see how nice and clean that makes that edge look? It's beautiful. Just nice and clean. All right, now we're going to work down the edge. And that's as easy as it is. Now, let's like that. Staple it down. As you can see, even looking down from the top, we've got the top covered. Remember outside? I'm going to turn this around. See, now you're looking outside through the window at the bottom of this. That's all covered. Everything's finished. Let's bring this over to the wall, and we'll see what it looks like on a window.
With our cornice board completed, we're ready for installation. To make installation easier, we're going to use an L bracket like this. We're going to screw into the bottom of the L bracket and through the wallboard into the stud behind the window, and then place the cornice on top. We're going to use a screw to screw up through the top of the bracket and into the bottom of the cornice. Now, to find the placement for your brackets, the window typically has a stud right behind the corner frame. We're going to measure for the height so that our cornice is on the window at the right height, and we're going to go up 2 inches for ours. Now make sure that when you place your L bracket that you're not outside the window. Make sure you're inside the window frame because of the size that you've already selected for the window. Mark the center and the edge of your L bracket, and then using a drywall screw and your drill, screw right through the bottom of the bracket and into the wall. And with this bracket in place, we'll do the same on the other side of the window. With our brackets in place, let's slide the cornice on top of those brackets and center it on the window. And then while holding it in place, use a drill that has a little longer bit and a small screw, and then drill right up into the bracket from on the underside. With our basic cornice installed, let's take a look at some options using wallpaper, wood trims, and other fabrics.
Now you've seen the whole project from start to finish. Creating your cornice board is easy. With the pre-cut wood kit and all the supplies you need, you're halfway there. Just add your fabric to this project, or you can make an upholstered headboard. Maybe even an ottoman. And each kit has all the supplies you need except your fabric. And the tools make it even easier. Check out the Home Decor 123 DVD. It has steps for all of these cornice board options, like using wallpaper and wood trim, or even sheer fabrics. And the finishing tips for shapes. There's even decorating tips for wall color and accessories. Next, check out our project making designer headboards.